Hey y'all, I'm in the kitchen today and I'm going to be making cowboy candy. It's also known as candied jalapenos. Now, to be clear, it is not a candy, it is a relish that is sweet and spicy. It's not like it's an ice cream topping or anything, although if that's what you want to use it for, then be my guest. But it's something that we would put on, meat or potatoes or eggs or anything you might want to put jalapenos on. Now, if you don't want it very spicy, I suggest you remove the seeds from the inside, but for my purpose, I'm going to be keeping the seeds. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is sterilize my jars, lids, and rings. Now, there's going to be some argumentative Karen out there that says that they no longer recommend that. That's up to you. But I like to make sure things are extra clean, so I am sterilizing my jars, lids, and rings. Now, the next thing I'm doing is I am washing my peppers. There's 25 of them here in some water with some vinegar to make sure we remove any pesticide residue or anything else that can get on there while they're sitting at a store. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start chopping my jalapenos, and I'm just removing the top part. And then I'm just thinly slicing them. And because I have 25 of these to do, I'm only going to show you on one. And then I'll be back after I finish cutting those up. Like I told you in the beginning, if you want yours to not be as hot, you can cut it like this and remove the seeds. And then cut them. You could actually rinse off the seeds that stick to it. It's up to you. Or you can slice it up and then remove the seeds from each portion. I have my little compost thing over here, so that would be a lot more time consuming to do it that way. But that's two ways to remove your seeds if you want to. But like I said, I keep my seeds, so I'm just going to keep on chopping and I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and put these peppers in the jars that I had ready. Some people like to blanch them first. If you want to do that, you can do that. But I'm going to just go ahead and stuff them in there. I'm not sure how many jars these are going to take because not all jalapenos are created equal. So I started with 6 half pints. And if I need to, I can sterilize some more. Yep, we're going to need more jars. Because even though these are going to shrink some once I add the sugar liquid, brine, whatever you want to call it, they're not going to take up all of these. Some jalapenos at the store, or when you grow them, they're small. These are a decent size. Boop. Just pack them down in there. Yep, looks like 25 peppers was enough for 9 jars. Alright, so I'm going to move these out of my way. And we are going to work on our brine. Alright, so for the brine, we're doing 2 cups of vinegar. You can use regular canning vinegar or you can use apple cider vinegar. It's up to you. But I have lots of regular vinegar on hand, so that's what we're using. Alright, and to the vinegar, we're going to add 6 cups of sugar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And to that, we're going to add a ½ teaspoon of turmeric. ½ teaspoon of celery seed. And a ½ teaspoon of ground ginger. Now there are other things that you can put in here. Lots of people do these recipes in all different ways. You can also add chili powder. You can add garlic, cayenne. I mean, look at all the different recipes out there and you're going to find several variations. But I have found this is the combination that we like. So I'm going to get this on the stove and get this sugar dissolved. As you can see, the sugar's not dissolved, so I'm going to get this on the stove, get it heating up on medium, and then I will be back. Alright, now that my sugar is dissolved, I am going to start ladling it into my jars up to that bottom ring there. There we go. I'm not using a funnel, these jars are so small. If you put a little bit too much, don't worry, you can come back and take some out in a little bit with your spoon. And we'll be cleaning the jars, the rims up. Probably gonna have to double this recipe and make some more. I call it sugar syrup, but it's a brine because it has vinegar in it. Trying to hurry up and get this done before Tommy gets home because I do work and I'm doing this after work and I still have dinner to make. So those of you that think you don't have time to do stuff like this, you can make time to do stuff like this. Doesn't take very long in my evenings. These make great gifts to give away to people. Someone's going to ask, how long will these be shelf stable? How long will these last? And the answer is, I do not know because they never last more than a couple of months. But it has vinegar in it. It should last you quite a while. So basically, I need enough for this and these last 2 jars. It wasn't enough for all 9 jars. So I'm going to half that recipe and make another batch of the brine real quick. And then I will be back. And it won't hurt anything for these to sit here. Actually, what I think I'll do is go ahead and clean these up and get these in my water bath so they can get started, and then I'll finish these 2 up later. That's what I'll do. Anyway, just go ahead and use whatever you're going to use to debubble it. Push those peppers down in that brine. Get them all covered. If you have room to put some more, like I do, go ahead and put some more peppers in there. There's nothing really you can do about them floating up because they're going to float up. Just get the jars packed. Keep them below that bottom line there. Alright, let's wipe these rims off. and get our lids on. Just put your lids on finger tight. You don't want to tighten them. You don't want to tighten them down. Now I have 6 of them in the water bath, and I am going to water bath these for 10 minutes once they come to a rolling boil. And it's time to take them out of the water bath. You can let them sit here for a few minutes until the water cools down some, but I'm going to go ahead and get those on the towel so I can get those last 3 in here. And here they are. Yes, they are floating, and you can fit more in here if you blanch them first in the sugar syrup and the brine. But I have found that I like them better doing it the way I do it, because then my jalapenos don't get as mushy. And that's all there is to making cowboy candy. Thank you guys for watching, and if you haven't already, please subscribe.